All right.
Oh. Hey, buddy!
We're back. Y'all sick of us yet?
Yeah.
Y'all sick of us yet?
You're thinking you're watching the Heroes World Sidekick Show, but no, you're watching the actual Heroes World podcast. We are stepping in for Stu. Stu's not here. Stu has actually decided to hop on a GO train and is on his way to Sudbury for a meeting with Vanis to discuss whether or not parkas are required clothing in minus a 40-degree weather. So we wish Stu.
Yes, a meeting is required for that. So he'll be back. He'll be back very, very soon, and we'll get back down to it. But we are here to continue our coverage of the Peacemaker. HBO Max / Crave in Canada. We are on episode 6. Rob, how many more do we got?
2 more episodes. But before we get into that, I'm Rob Gadet, and this is John Ho over here, one of the proprietors of the Heroes World comic book shop up in Markham, Ontario, Canada. So thanks everybody for joining us. If we sound like we're all over the place, because we just recorded another episode, and so John forgets this is a brand new one, and that we had to go through all the introductions. If Stu was here right now, when Stu ends up watching, he's calling us.
Get it together, guys.
How many times have we done this show and you can't do a proper opening? No. So there we go. I'm Rob Gadet. That's John Ho. And we're going to jump into Peacemaker episode 6. Murn after reading. John, do you have a non-spoilery review?
Yeah. So we're spoiler-free, folks. If you haven't seen the episode, what are you waiting for? I started my morning off with an episode of Peacemaker. I had the luxury of being able to watch it first thing in the morning. And yeah, it works. It's great. Put you in a great mood. So this episode just continues what they were doing, but I feel like they actually went in some directions that I actually didn't see coming from this particular show. So they get a little bit more dramatic. I don't think that's too spoilery, but they for a show that's kind of leaned so far into their comedy aspect, they managed to squeeze in some very kind of serious, dramatic performances, I think. So overall, again, very happy with the episode. Lots to watch. Even when this is all done and you know the results of it, I think you're going to tune back in for performances, the back and forths with these characters, the comedic elements, and now you're going to have some dramatic elements. So, Rob, what did you think overall of this episode? I know you're digging the music. That was some great musical montages going on.
Oh, buddy. We'll get into that. Yeah, in terms of this episode, non-spoilery, as John says, it literally picks up right where episode 5 ended. And then, John's right. This is it is a balance of dramatic moments with the comedic moments that we're very used to seeing. And it is, listen, we've got 2 episodes left, but they are setting up an epic finale, a showdown, however you want to title it. And I feel like they still got a lot of room to do all of that. So, this does progress. We find out more about the butterflies, which has been the one aspect we really haven't heard a lot about. Even though it's been his overall mission, that's the one. It's almost been like a C story, but it's been elevated in this episode based on the events of what happened in the last. And so it definitely is a progression, which really makes me excited for episode 7 next week.
Yeah. So like some crazy stuff. What would you rate it out of 10, Rob? Since we've already begun our ratings for these things at the beginning of this, usually before we dive into spoiler territory. If I could talk, sorry. What do you give it out of 10, Rob?
I feel like I've been consistently giving it like a 9, and I'm going to stick with a 9 on this one. Maybe I did a 9.5 a couple of times, so I'm going to go with a 9 on this one.
Yeah. Me too. I think I'll go with a 9. I don't know if that's lower or higher than what I did before, but I feel like this series is being consistent, and like it doesn't speak better of an episode if you watch it and you immediately want to rewatch it. Like I feel like that's always what happens with these. I'm like, oh, what am I doing now? I think I'll watch another bit of this episode. So like I think that's just great and speaks volumes of the entertainment value. And again, I think this show does have a particular kind of genre and flavor that if you don't like this particular type of humor, you're gonna have to look elsewhere. It's not gonna change your mind. So if you haven't liked episodes 1 to 5 and all of a sudden jump on to 6 and go, maybe this will change my mind. It's not. It's doing the same thing kind of it was. But let's go. Should we go straight into spoilers?
Yeah, for sure. If you see me laughing throughout the course of this episode, it's because I keep looking at this painting of John Cena that John's put up. And it's
great shot.
It's making me laugh consistently. So we can go into spoilers, John. That's fine.
Yeah, so spoilers. I really like a bunch of people would ask questions. Like you talked about it earlier. We didn't know about the butterflies. What's the deal with the journal? What about this? What about that? I feel like almost everything was answered this episode. So they've kind of like cleared a nice path to a conclusion. So the next 2 episodes, I think there's not a lot of things that have yet to be revealed. So we kind of find out what the butterflies are all about, what they're doing, why Murn is a good guy butterfly, whatever we want to call it. We find out what the fate of the diary is, why it was there, and kind of what side all the other players were on. And we even get a setup for T1000, Robert Patrick's character. But what I really liked about this episode, and I hinted at it earlier, was its dramatic turn. So a show that leans so far into comedy, so far into outrageous back and forths and crazy stuff. They managed to get some really kind of gripping moments, Rob. Yeah. So I have a list of my favorite moments from the episode. And I'll do them in order of kind of what they appeared, because I don't really have a ranking for them. I just thought they were really cool moments. So the first moment is the reveal that Marn, the butterfly
Murn.
that Murn, is it Marn? Murn like Murn
with an M. Yeah,
you should let it Murn. So Murn, the fact that he is a good guy and ended up taking over who he thought was the worst human being ever, a murderer. And then he says, I hear him in there and I knew that he could change and I took it away from him. Like, what a dramatic position to put like a hero character in, that he's like, I feel bad that I've taken this away from this guy that could have changed. Like that was really cool. I really like the next scene, which was agent the cop. So is her name Sophie or
Sophie? I believe that's what it is.
Sophie Song or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Song. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, Detective Sophie Song. Yeah. Detective Sophie Song. She unfortunately gets possessed by the butterfly, which I was kind of heartbroken with at first, but the performance that she gets to give after it, like kind of like being like the queen. I don't remember what that song was. Was it like Queen of Monsters or something like that? Monster woman or whatever. The montage, the musical montage was crazy. But the moment where she's like, oh, she was fond of you, and then gives the guy a little smile. They threw in a little joke there, but she's like, enjoy this moment, and then it's preceded by like fucking crazy shit that went down after that. And then there's Leota or Adebayo. Adebayo, dealing with her betrayal, talking with her wife and talking about like, oh, you know what, this goofy white dude, he believes in me, and then the team, and then my mom, and then Amanda and all that stuff. Just her dealing with the whole conflict of everything that went down. And then the final one is we go from hardcore etching the eagle onto a gun. A gun for Peacemaker. You're like,
dove of peace. It was a dove.
The dove of peace, and you're already like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then it goes into John Cena Peacemaker saying, I don't want to kill anymore, which is like, but he's fine with killing the butterflies. So we're gonna have a hell of a finale. But he doesn't want to kill people anymore, which I think was really cool. And then you get a whole crazy piano scene. What did you think of that piano scene, Rob?
Well, do you recognize the tune? Do you know the tune?
I don't know. I was gonna lean on you for the music.
In Motley Crue. It was Home Sweet Home.
Okay.
Peacemaker looks around. There's nobody left in the base of operations. There's an old grand piano there, or sorry, it wasn't grand, but it's an old piano. He lifts it up and starts strumming the keys a little bit and gets into a rendition of Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home. Just piano. He didn't sing. I thought he was going to start singing, and he didn't. It was an excellent choice not to.
And you see, obviously they had like, there were some angles where you could see someone maybe subbed in, but you could see John Cena's big meaty hands doing some of the notes. So I believe that he definitely put in 100% effort as usual that we've seen from him, and learned how to play some of those chords and things like that. So shout outs to him for putting that in. And then I'll shout out like just just a quick funny scene that I like. There's one point where the cop is like takes the diary and he tells this other cop to like go search around the whatever, and in the background he just trips for no apparent reason. He's like walking, he's like,
he trips over something.
Yeah, like just subtle. Like, how do you know to write that in? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, yeah, he's gonna tell this guy to go over here. He's gonna put the diary in his pocket, and the guy's gonna look mad suspicious. And then we're gonna have you trip on the way out. Like, what a funny little subtle joke. But what did you think of the episode, Ralph?
Yeah, I thought it was really funny. We find out, as you alluded to, so Murn, you think he's gonna potentially harm or kill Adebayo, whatever, Adebayo, and he doesn't. He's like, hang on, and Hardcore shows up, and she essentially is like, oh, she knows she was wearing the helmet, and for a moment, I actually thought Hardcore was actually going to be a butterfly as well. Anyways, turns out no, that's not the case. What's his face? The Steve Agee's character. He's like John
Econos.
Yeah, Econos. Yeah, when she said, "Oh, he doesn't want to know about it," he just sticks his fingers in his ears and goes blah blah blah. Like, that's usually something that you say when like nobody wants to know. That's a euphemism. He was actually doing it when he walked in. He's like, ah. I thought that was really funny. And there's a moment in the Murn essentially says, listen, we came to this world, our world was being decimated, and we started to realize that there's good in this world, and there's a certain faction that was breaking off with the Goth Queen, I think is what she was. The Goth Queen was going to wanted to destroy the planet. I was kicked out because I didn't have the balls, paraphrasing, and I'm trying to save humanity, which I don't really know how I feel. I feel like this is a tired trope, to be very honest with you. Like, oh, we're enslaving the human race, but I'm the one dissident trying to save it. Like, it's.
I was gonna say I like its simplicity. They could have went out of the box and tried to create something completely new, but they're kind of like, okay, we're gonna kind of not go too crazy. So, but to me, I kind of like a simple storyline. But
fair enough.
Tell them about the cow.
The cow.
You know the cow in the cut.
Yeah,
cut to the intro. Great intro. Still,
we do see Peacemaker in school at a like a show and tell.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And he's answering all these questions, and he's making fun of the kids. There's a kid wearing a Flash, and she's like, "Have you ever met the Flash?" She goes, "Yeah, he's a real d-bag." Next, and he was talking about how he took down Kite Man, one of the most reviled villains that there are, and this one kid's like, wait a minute, you said he was carrying the something black diamond and that weighs 300 pounds. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, but he was flying on a kite to get away. He's like, yeah. And he's like, the kid's like, but how does that work? Because, like, what about gravity? And the guy's like, shut up.
He's like, gonna crash anyways. Yeah. It's funny that this janitor from the episode 1, who I thought we were done with. I thought we were done with him. Shows up. And he's like, yeah, remember when I said I'd be there for you anytime? He's like, what the
and the janitor's kid says, what's your origin story? And you can see the flashback in Peacemaker's face. It's zoomed up. It's an interesting angle on the one side of his face. You see the mask, and you can see the pain. All you see is his eye, but you see like the pain and it's starting to well up as he's thinking about the fact that he had just killed his brother, and that's all you really get. And he goes, oh, well, yeah, of course, it's not that interesting. So then we go through this, and Peacemaker back at his Jolly Ranch, and as you said, the cops are gonna go and they're gonna essentially take him down for the murder. His dad's been released, and there's that moment between like the chemistry that we've discussed before. The chemistry that all of them have collectively is phenomenal. Even paired off, like when he's talking to Adebayo or he's talking to Hardcore, like I'm talking about Peacemaker, like their chemistry individually together in pairs is great. But his with Vigilante is just like those two make me laugh. Like they're like the DC violent versions of grumpy old men. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that.
Well, the yes or no interrogation killed me. He's like, yes and no questions, 2 options.
Yeah, he goes, yeah. What's your favorite color? And he's like, what don't you understand? It's either yes or either no. Okay, is your
He's like, is
favorite
it teal?
color teal? And he's like, what are you doing? He goes, well, eventually we get to it. They'll tell us what his favorite color is. He goes, why would you start with teal? And he goes, I don't know. Well, it's a great color. Nobody starts with teal. Like, the shit just makes me laugh. But as you said, they're about to be taken down by the local police detachment for the murder of that what happened in episode 1 with the big explosion. And then as they're getting away, the cop that is helping Murn essentially takes out a couple of other officers. He's a dirty police captain. But we find out that the butterfly that Peacemaker has been holding in his jar is Goff, is this evil queen who was bent on taking over planet Earth. And she then inhabits the body of Sue Song or whatever the cop, right?
Sophia Song.
Sophia Song. But man, how violent looking was that entry? Like, burrowing into her throat, like in her mouth.
I was gonna say, because they do it a couple times in the episode.
Yeah.
And at a certain point you start going, oh man, this is too much. I don't need to see it. Because you don't want to start thinking about where the blood's coming from. Like, do they tunnel into their heads and that's the blood coming out from that? Who knows? But yeah, when they're grabbing it and trying to get the bugs out of their mouth, yeah, it's pretty horrifying scene.
Well, yeah, because she ends up calling an armada of butterflies. They're all coming in on their ships.
That was crazy.
And I was like, whoa, right? And I got a weird Men in Black vibe. I don't know why, but I was watching that scene when the pods opened up and all the butterflies are coming out of their ships. I was like, wow, this feels like very Men in Blackish. But yes, and then they go to the police station and essentially take over the entire police station and the jail. They are infecting or entering all of these host bodies to create an army of these humans. And they make a comment, or she makes a comment about learning to smile is difficult. Each body does things differently. And then you see all these now inhabited host bodies walking around and like zombies, but they're like they're learning. Each of them's got like a crazy smile on their face. Like it was like so bananas.
It was pretty disturbing actually when they start walking and they all start to get this grin on their face. Like, oh my god! I was like, oh my, how far are they going to take this?
Yeah, and there was a scene, John, and you might remember this more than I. For some reason, I can't recall the specifics, but Peacemaker shows back up at the headquarters, and he's really pissed off about almost being busted and this and that. He's angry. And he's upset. He doesn't know Murn is a butterfly yet. But the mystery kind of starts to unravel. But he gets into a conversation with respect to race. Do you remember this?
It was Oriental versus
yes,
Asian.
Yes, the term Oriental versus Asian, and I said this in episode 2. I said, when they're getting into race, especially with his dad as this white dragon, there's a really fine line in dealing with race-based jokes and conversations where it could tip to a territory that makes you uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Robert Patrick consistently, his character as Peacemaker's dad, consistently making jokes to the officer because she's Asian. And you can be like kind of cringy, and you almost, as a Caucasian, I feel bad laughing. Full disclosure, I do. Sometimes I feel bad laughing, but it does make me laugh, especially her comebacks, right, are really funny. But the conversation that Peacemaker has about the difference between the usage of the word Oriental and Asian, and then how Adebayo, he's going on, and she goes, oh, yes, please explain to us, white man of privilege.
Substituting one word for another.
Yeah.
How
it's ruined your existence and your life on a daily basis. Like, I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Like, I really did. Like, the social commentary in this sometimes it's in your face, and yet it's so subtle to not be standing on a soapbox. Do you know what I'm saying? I thought it was really funny, man.
They kind of sneak it in. They kind of sneak it in. Yeah, the concern is you are worried that that things might be repeated or used as like, you know, you might be introducing racist things to a new generation who didn't know them.
Right. But it is though an interesting a mirror, holding up a mirror to society, and especially people of that age, of our age, John, and how maybe terms that were used way back then are no longer used now, and for the purpose and the explanation as to why. And it's all about growth and everything else, right? The whole thing is about growth. So why not obviously tackle those issues that could be considered touchy subjects, but doing it in a smart and funny way to be able to make it accessible, I thought is really good. So
yeah. They also dropped the joke in there, so we don't get too serious. The joke in there of what is it when you get 50%, and Peacemaker's like a D and everybody else is like an F. And he's like, and he's like, well,
fine, enough, whatever. Dude, can we talk quickly about Eagly taking out all those people?
At first you're like, okay, this eagle is doing something, and then it starts to just basically, like, I think one guy you just hear like a really awful noise.
Yeah, when he's ripping his skin off his face.
Another one gets like his eyes pecked out, and then another person gets knocked over, and you see his head clearly hit a rock. So you're like, this bird is just murdering everybody.
Yeah, he was like a legit bird of prey. Like, he was flying, and then his wings go back and was ramming into people. And the best part though is like he helps Peacemaker so much, and yet Peacemaker kind of throws him around like a rag doll. Like, they get into the car.
Yeah, they get in the car. He's like, get on the front seat, get in the back seat.
Yeah, he's throwing him into the back seat. Like, it's just, there's just something about this show, John, that just gives me such pure enjoyment and glee. Like, you said it at the beginning of this episode, when all of the mystery and everything's over and done after these 8 episodes, you will likely want to go back and kind of revisit and see things. And I think there's probably so much that I've missed, especially just from laughing. Like, I'm really looking forward to going back and rewatching these episodes again when the whole thing's done, because, man, this shit, it makes me laugh, man. I love this show.
Yeah. Hopefully they see that. I'm concerned of characters not maybe making it through, and if there's going to be a second season or not. So I'm a little worried. So I hope they know that the chemistry there is really, really good. I forgot to mention there was one other super funny thing. When the cop, he kind of kills the other cops, and then they're like, "Who did this?" And he's like, "This guy in a striped suit with a purple tie and a black mask and a black fedora," and he kept saying, "Robble, robble." And you're like, wait. I think that's like the Hamburglar. And I think the Hamburglar has come up several times in either our podcast or the What I Missed show or whatever. But I'm sure Stu was on the floor laughing when that happened. So shout out to Stu. We'll have to, when we get back to the next episode, we'll have to ask him what he thought about the Hamburglar. Now it's confirmed in the DC universe.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. That was so funny, man. Is just, yeah. And
then the end credit scenes is the alternate take of him trying to pretend to cry.
Right.
The end credits.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Like, and starts laughing.
Yeah, and he's holding the officer's hand. He's like, no.
But, so it's really interesting. I actually thought that police chief was infected with a butterfly. I thought because he was so in line originally, Murn, and because he was weird. I thought he already had a butterfly in him. Now, maybe he did. Maybe the other one took the new one that got inside of him, took the other one out. I have no idea. But I was convinced that guy was a butterfly as well. So I don't know if there's something not right with that guy beforehand or what.
Just a weirdo.
this episode carries the tradition, John, of every episode they reference past superheroes. Last week, I think we got the Superman, and he's got an issue with like shit play. And this one, there's, have you met one woman? He goes, well, I haven't really talked to her, but we were at a party once. I saw her eye effing me across the room. So stupid. Oh my God.
It's funny what they're letting them get away with. So hopefully they find out that they don't have to be so uptight about things, and they can let things like this happen,
Yeah, but to close off that episode of him playing Home Sweet Home, it's such a weird because it wasn't even a montage. Like it wasn't him playing and having a montage of other things happening. It was literally just him playing and the camera kind of circling around him. And it's very brave to make that decision to do like a 2.5 minutes or so of him playing with
It was
nothing
a good second.
really.
Yeah, it was a good while. Yeah.
Yeah, with nothing really else going on. It wasn't like bridging anything. It was just watching him play, seeing the vulnerability of Peacemaker. I think it's an important moment in this show that they've been showcasing a few times in these past few episodes, is that vulnerability of John Cena's character. And man, he nails it again. Like, just, I can't praise this guy enough. Like, listen, man, this show's still going on. I would love it if this guy could be up for an Emmy Award potentially. Like, I would completely support any nomination this guy gets because it's just fabulous.
Yeah, no, John Cena, like you can tell he's giving it 100%, and everyone in the cast, you can just tell everybody's all in for this. No one's phoning it in. And tribute to I think, does James Gunn write a lot of the dialogue? Because I think I've kind of popped around and I've said that I think some of it is improv, but I think a lot of it is his pen creating these dialogues and these jokes and things like that. So
yeah, and he directed this episode again.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, yeah, so he stepped back in for the crazy crazy dramatic episode.
Yeah, so apparently he's off next week in terms of directing. It's another individual named Brad Anderson, and then he's back for the finale. Yeah.
All right. Do you think they chose that song intentionally? Pam and Tommy also dropped this week.
Yeah.
Is that maybe a shout out?
No, I don't think so. I didn't
it's just
wonder.
A classic song.
It's a classic rock ballad, which is his jam, right? So it didn't surprise me. I was really happy with its inclusion for sure. Yeah.
All right. So we'll look forward to seeing him play that piano cover when he shows up on a talk show. He'll be like, I actually learned to play it. Like that'll be another trick up John Cena's sleeve. All right. Anything else we want to cover for this episode, Rob?
No, I'm listen, man, I've said it week over week. This show continues to impress me, and I can't wait for next week's episode. Like, we have 2 episodes left. We haven't had one episode where you're like, oh, didn't really need to do that. We had that with a lot of our shows that we've reviewed, John. Like Loki was a perfect example where we liked it, and then a couple you're like, what the hell is going on? This show has been consistently hitting its mark, and I'm very excited. I'm happy there's only 2 episodes left. I think it's probably a nice, perfect number for this type of show. So I'm excited for episode 7 next week.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I look forward to it every Thursday. So there's going to be a hell of a lot of content for us to dive through over the next week with the finale of this Book of Fett. And then 2 more Peacemakers. Jack Reacher just dropped this week. I've got a bunch of other shows coming up. Pam and Tommy. I don't know if you're gonna watch that one, Rob.
Yeah, I probably will. They dropped the first 3 episodes, right? It's on Disney Plus, but as you said, Reacher is 8 episodes, and all of them dropped Thursday night, John. They're all raring to go, and nobody likes to know how the sausage is made, John. But we're actually recording this on Thursday night, and you and I are probably trying to get the hell out of here so we can go.
we're going straight into Reacher. Oh my god! All right, so thank you everybody for always tuning in. We will be back again next week with our episode 7 review, as well as all the other content we mentioned. Heroes World Podcast. If you're not following us on iTunes and Spotify already, check us out there. You can listen to us on the audio, take us on the go, or if you're at the gym or wherever you're doing your run or doing your row or whatever you're doing to kind of not go crazy. And then if you're looking for the shop, Heroes World online for our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, the YouTube, everything can be found there. You can hit us up. The website has got a bunch of our stuff on there, but we've got so much more stuff in store. So you can always hit us up with a message, or you can drop by and see us 8601 Warden Avenue in Markham, Ontario. We'd love to have you. You're always welcome to come and check out our things and say what's up. So thank you again, Rob. What are we doing Monday? What are we talking about on Monday?
Oh,
on
buddy.
Show?
Yes, the Heroes World Sidekick Show. We are in the midst of our best of 90s action movies. We're doing the front part of the decade, 1990 to 1994. And so this Monday, we're at week 4, John. This Monday is an epic showdown between Leon, the professional, and your boy Jean-Claude Van Damme in Time Cop, and starring my favorite sweetheart from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Mia Sara. So we're gonna find out. First of all, do either of these movies belong in the conversation of one of the best '90s action movies? And who will advance in this bracket? Will it be Time Cop with Jean-Claude, or will it be Leon the Professional with Jean Reno? With two people who with accents moving on. So we shall see what happens. So definitely tune in Monday night, 8:15, live on YouTube, Twitch, and on the Twitter streams. You can follow our social medias for that. But hey, man, join the YouTube channel. That's where everybody that we like to chat with all of our friends on there. It's interactive, so definitely get into it. And hey, Leon, I think, is on Netflix right now, The Professional. So you can definitely check it out there. And Time Cop.
And Time Cop, you should own a copy. It's a Jean-Claude Van Damme masterpiece.
At maybe his best since Bloodsport. Maybe his best.
It's quite possible. And also on the Heroes World online feed, you'll find comic-related content like TGIF with Jesse and Andre on Fridays. A quick shout-out to their show, which is also live. So if you want some more live interactions, you want to chat back and forth, get your input heard, all that kind of stuff, get at us in the YouTube is our most active, but any of our other means, links are in the description below. Thank you again, Rob.
Thanks,
for taking the chores of hosting. I don't think I could have done it.
Stu, safe travels back from Sudbury. We hope it all goes well. We hope your meeting with Vanessa has been prosperous and you have a new North Face jacket.
Yeah. Ooh, fancy. All right. Peace out, folks. We'll catch you on the next one, and you might see us very soon with some Jack Reacher coverage. Peace out.